Hi guys, welcome to Miranda Heart to Heart. What did you guys think about the Bobby Brown story? What did you think about how Whitney was portrayed in that movie, the part one and the part two? In my opinion, Bobby was pretty forthcoming about his lust for different women and his drug and alcohol addictions. Initially, it looked like Bobby and Whitney had a pretty good, healthy relationship. Looked like their relationship took a turn when Whitney became pregnant along with someone else and following the miscarriage. The part two, insecurity, really stood out to me between Bobby and Whitney. And I think the cheating, playing the blame game, self-doubt really contribute to some insecurities between the two of them. Whitney, after she did The Bodyguard, she reached the climax of her career. She was doing pretty well. However, shortly after that, her career took a downward spiral effect. And I believe the drug addiction, increased media attention, and perhaps her backstory contribute to a lot of that. Someone of her stature, I would say, would be able to receive some of the best compliments and some of the worst criticism. Also, during the part two, America Princess was used periodically throughout that. And so my question to you is, what do you think was being implied by that, American's Princess? The media back then placed an emphasis on Bobby Brown and putting it out there that he was the cause of her or leading to her drug abuse and drug addiction. However, Whitney's brother has said multiple times since her death publicly that he introduced Whitney to cocaine and he feels responsible for her addiction and feels like he had a part in the cause of her death related to that drug addiction. I read recently in a People magazine, and it's also in media, where Whitney and Whitney's brother was allegedly molested by Dionne Warwick's sister, Dee Dee. Now, the controversy is Sissy, Whitney's mother, is something that she doesn't want to talk about, of course, because Whitney has passed. And then she also, in some publications, she completely denied it. In other publications, she simply said that Whitney's not here, Dee Dee's not here to confirm or rebuke those allegations. So my question to you is, with child molestation, it oftentimes does get swept under the rug. So what do you think about that when that occurs? According to the American Academy of Experts of Traumatic Stress, 30% of all males and 40% of all females have experienced sexual abuse. According to childtrauma.org, 1 out of 3 females and 1 out of 5 males have experienced sexual abuse. Those numbers are quite alarming. And I think what's even more alarming is what takes place after a person has experienced sexual abuse or child molestation. Psychology Today mentions sexual abuse can lead to anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and also depression. After reviewing several interviews about Whitney, one could definitely tell Whitney may have, during some of her interviews, when she may have been high, and then some of her other interviews when she may have been sober and not under the influence. And we were able to get a true glimpse of maybe how Whitney really was as an individual without the influence of drugs or alcohol. Oprah's interview with Whitney's family was very touching to me. I'm glad Oprah took the time to show the world what Whitney was really like, using the people that knew Whitney best. We all struggle with our own addictions, whether it's drugs overeating, being materialistic, loving Mr. Wrong, knowing that he'll never be right, a variety of things. We suffer from different addictions. So I would say before the fame, she was still human. In spite of her beauty, her voice, and her fame, she still had her own insecurities and imperfections. So with the child molestation, a few questions for you. What are your thoughts on sexual abuse or child molestation? Put that in the comment section. What are some ways to prevent child molestation? And what are some ways that people that have experienced that type of trauma, how can they heal from that? One of the things I would say is that, one, people need to really acknowledge when it takes place. We need to stop spending time wanting to sweep it under the rug, leaving the victims having to fend for themselves when it comes to their healing. We need to take time to really talk about that and address those issues and help support them. Now that Whitney has passed, and to me, I still, I think she was a great singer. I think she was very beautiful. And I believe that during the interviews where Whitney did not appear high, that Whitney was a very real, authentic person that struggled with quite a bit, and maybe even stemming from her childhood. So when it comes to child molestation, just tell me what your thoughts on that and what people can do to better heal when they have experienced that. Leave that in the comment section. Until the next video, love yourselves and love each other. Take care. Bye.